Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. This is me, and we're doing the informal podcast because we're so informal like that.
This is Quincy and Jeremy.
Yeah, that's who we are. That's what he said. So that's who we are.
I don't think anyone knew.
Oh, probably nobody knows. They're probably watching.
No one knows who we are.
Who are these people just talking about Cowboy Bebop? But
just randomly, it's like popped up.
Two individuals just popping up talking about the bebop, beepity boop, boopity boop bop. But this podcast specifically, we're talking about Cowboy Bebop Netflix live version episode 5. So hopefully you got to catch up with us on all our previous episodes, like all the.
Hopefully you found our episodes in order.
Yeah. If not, then you could always go back or go forward. But episode 5 specifically is it talks about Jet's past and his previous ISSP partner, who's kind of like this old man, which I thought was kind of interesting.
They're all old men.
I know, but it kind of gave me like that old investigator vibe.
Yeah, it's like a old noir film. Like
investigator. Yeah, because the flashback was depicted by the black and white, right? They had the black and white scenes.
Like the vintage color scheme.
So in just watching it, it's kind of neat because we finally get to see a little bit of Jet's backstory, how he became kind of like kind of cyborg and, like what happened to him, like why he was wronged.
You mean why does he have a robotic arm?
Yeah. Why he's like part cyborg, right?
Yeah.
So Darkside Tango, I feel, had a lot of subplots, but the main plot was specifically Jet. And then, of course, he goes down this journey almost by himself. And, I know that he's the captain of the ship, but he kind of tells, Spike and the rest of them to kind of work together. And I guess that subplot was interesting because they're kind of proving to each other how like that, she's a bounty hunter, right? Or she's a cowboy. Bounty hunter. So I think it was kind of cool because they split everybody up. And then of course they focused mainly on Jet. So I don't know what you felt about, Jet's storyline. I don't know if it was the same as the anime or something that was different.
Yeah, for the most part, like Jet's story remained unchanged. That was cool. With like, his partner Fad, and them trying to. Well, it's more, I guess it's the same. Whereas Jet's past kind of comes back to haunt him, and he has you find out he has like unresolved business because he's been framed or like someone betrayed him and shot him, right? Right. And which made
unknowingly, right? Is like a shadowy figure, whoever that is.
Yeah, like blinded by headlights, but they were chasing a bad guy, and then he gets shot in the arm. And loses his arm.
and that was the flashback. I mean,
and that was the thing. That's the show.
That's the show, and we're done.
And that's the show at the end.
Yeah, because Jet actually leaves Faye and Spike by themselves, and that's when they get into the whole kind of pissing match, which I thought was pretty entertaining because
I gotta say, I can appreciate that the two have banter, and like are acting like crewmates, but I gotta say it just feels
forced,
strange.
Strange.
Oh, like their whole like actually all of okay, it's entire like all of Faye's character is just feels very strange to me and like very foreign.
Really? I mean, well, see, I didn't watch the anime. I kind of think she's a little bit of a badass, but I think it's probably because she seems more, I guess, human in this show. I think we talked about an episode.
Well, it's not about that. It's not like, she's feeling more human than before. I mean, I don't think that was ever the issue. Okay. I think the issue is just like her character. Just, I don't know. It kind of like it kind of like throws me off.
Is it because you know about the anime?
Well, I guess so. Okay, so the original fake character, right? She's less of a bounty hunter and more of like a troublemaker.
Oh, I see.
And that's just because of like how she was raised and like her backstory, like kind of defines like who she is as a person. And the action she takes kind of explained by her traumas.
Right.
But in this one, it's more like she's, a strong, independent, like badass woman who I guess was a solo act up until recently and just decided to team up with Cowboy Bebop. Okay, that's probably the thing. I think that's probably what it is. It's like, I don't really understand why she wanted to team up with them in the first place.
Right. Like there was no motivation, no purpose.
Yeah, there's really no purpose for her to do so.
Well, in episode 3, there was a purpose because people were turning into trees, but I think there's no purpose to her staying.
Yeah. Because normally she was just staying because she's more of like a leech character. She's a freeloader. Pretty much, like that's how she comes across. Is like she's a freeloader who's just taking advantage of like the Bebop crew. And then, and she betrays him multiple times. Right.
Like for her own personal gain, right?
It's all about her own personal gain. But in this one, it's more like she's looking out for the team kind of thing. She's like, she's
more human. She's more human.
No, she's human. It's just a different type of human. She's like, this is the A team now. I'm part of that crew.
Right.
Kind of ordeal.
Yeah, I could see that. I mean, it is. For me, she does feel like she's part of the team, and I obviously didn't watch the anime, but it seemed like like she's just tagging along. But her dialogue doesn't make her like a well-rounded character. Where it's like, what is her motivations?
She has no motivation. Yeah, it's very confusing what her motives are. I think that's what it is. It's just like I just don't know like what character wants.
Right. Yeah, does it want money? Does she want power? Does she want fame? Does she want notoriety? I mean, I see exactly what you're saying. Like, she's just kind of like, because she's an OG character, they probably just threw her in, but then she doesn't really fit the narrative, right? Like, it still feels like Spike and...
I guess so. I mean, I guess it's like they're trying to make a new narrative and then they don't know how to fit her into it.
Right. Well, I mean, like all the other characters as well. Like, I mean, even for me, like Vicious doesn't seem like the big bad in this one, even though they did have kind of.
True, and that's probably the other thing that throws me off is Vicious's new character design.
Well, not technically new character, but yeah.
His new design. His new design, yeah.
Right. Because I mean, in his subplot, right, he goes to Mao and he tries to convince her to do the coup for the elders, right? And then of course, they go through that banter and it's like, oh, Julia has to sing for me, right? Even Julia seems like she has no purpose either.
Not only that, but it's like, it's weird to see Vicious be so caring, or not even caring, just like have a person to care about.
Right.
Like a wife. Like he has a wife. Yeah, like that's just like, that's not
normal.
No, it's just, I mean, I get it as part of the design, but it's just like, it just throws me off so completely.
Right. Yeah, see, and maybe that, but I mean, well, sorry, we're talking about Arcane. We weren't necessarily talking about Cowboy Bebop. There was some criticisms of the live version, and maybe that's why it didn't get picked up for a second season. It's just the writing and the direction that the writers and directors actually tried to lay the groundwork for a future season just didn't pan out. I mean, I think John Cho as an actor is really great. I think Jet can adapt himself to like back in the past being a good guy, and then of course being someone who's been wronged. His character development is very apparent, but there's all these other straggler characters that almost play sideline to these main characters. That, I mean, even maybe the dog has more relevancy than anyone, So I think in that regard, this is where I feel like Cowboy Bebop is losing me a little bit. Where it was kind of a nice backstory, nice to know about Jet, but at the end of the day, it's like, what does it all equal up to, and why does it matter?
I guess that's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully, the show in itself redeems itself. Episode 6, 7, 8, 9. But
I mean, this one was, I guess kind of nice. It does give more backstory into Jet's past. And at least for this one, like I think they did Jet's character really well. Yeah, in this adaptation. Well, so I mean, I don't care if they try to change it, but it's like as long as it makes sense and like people can understand like where they're getting at or what they're trying to achieve, right? Because in this one, it's very clear. Like Jet, his entire thing is he's an honorable man, right? He's a former cop who was wronged, and he's just trying to clear his name because that's what's important to him.
You're framed.
Yeah, he got framed, and then it's like he just has unresolved issues because of that, right? Because like he lost his wife and he has nothing left except his honor. So it's very clear, like at least in the live action one, like what his intents are.
Yeah. Motivations.
Check. Yeah, motivations.
Character development. Check.
Right.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I mean, hopefully, like I was saying, I really did like the episode after I got over 2 and 3. Even the fact that like Jet has so much charm. Like even in the beginning, while he was with his partner, when he was with his partner, Tad, what was his name?
Yeah,
Tad.
Chad.
Even when he was with his partner, Fad, like he was kind of showing charm by saying like, oh, this is, triplets. Like he was talking about timing in terms of composition and that he was composing, in real time. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Lot of knowledge dropped on there.
It's a lot of jazz music theory there.
Yeah, jazz music theory showed a lot of personality for him. And then I think it makes sense why he named the bebop. Right. The bebop. So, I mean, I have no problems with this episode in terms of, Jet. I have no problems. I still really like Spike, but I think you're right. Like everything across the board is becoming a little bit like purposeless. And, like you just don't know where to take this with the rest of the characters. And I think in the end, this is how we're going to kind of discover what needs to be done. Right. So,
hopefully the at least for Faye's storyline,
it improves better
and it gets better. And then for Jet's main story, which I guess is the main story of the show, hopefully that gets better.
We hope for the best, but in the meantime,
I think that I feel if hopefully like if they keep it like in the sad same tone as like as it originally was, I think it should be fine.
I agree.
It's gotta be sad though. It's gotta be like sobbing, crying, sad,
make
like
people cry,
make you cry.
Yeah,
tears.
This past we
tears of anguish.
We did watch SAO Progressive, right? Which was kind of different because it talks about Asuna's character side. We watched the movie this past weekend, and I think when you change things up a little bit, like people don't know what to expect and it throws them off guard. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I think in this case scenario with Faye and Vicious, it probably didn't work. Well,
Faye, it's Faye, Vicious, Julia,
all of them,
Anna, Gren.
Yeah. The dog.
And let's not even get started on the fact that we still haven't seen the last member of the Bebop crew.
Oh, there's another one?
There's a last one, Ed.
Oh.
I don't know where she's supposed to be. Like, she's supposed to be in it by now, but I don't know.
Yeah, I guess we'll see what happens then. I mean,
like, where is she?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know who that is because I've never seen that person just yet. So as soon as they arrive, then we will be happy. If they don't arrive, there's no season 2, so they may never arrive. But
that would be so sad.
Yeah, it would be sad. But that's all, folks. As my friend Bugs Bunny would say, that's all, folks. Or is it Porky Pig? Someone would say that. But yeah, thank you for watching the informal, formal, non-formal podcast. Like, subscribe, all those fun things, because we have a really cool editor that's editing these videos and making us look super cool. So until episode 6, we'll see you next time.